So one of the things that we like to talk about when we're talking about professionalism is gossiping in the workplace. This is probably one of the top 3 complaints that I get from employers who hire me and want me to teach their employees professionalism. Gossiping seems to cause a lot of strife, and actually, if not handled properly, can prevent employees from doing their job to the best of their ability. Many years ago, I had a dear friend who actually lost her little sister. And it was a tragic loss. She was about 23 years old. And I went to her funeral, of course expecting a really sad service, which it was. But when I sat in that service, and as people got up to talk about this young woman, whose name was Amy, there was something really amazing that they talked about. As they described this young woman, who was about 23 years old, they talked about that Amy was someone who they had never heard once make an unkind remark about another human being. I mean, they never heard her gossip. They never heard her speak unkindly. In fact, if you tried to gossip in Amy's presence, she would either walk away, she might say something like, "Oh, come on you all, let's focus on her positive traits." But she would not allow others to gossip in her presence. And as I sat there in that service, I just was overwhelmed with my own guilt. Because I sat there and thought, you know what? My coworkers, my friends, could not say that about me. And I was so embarrassed that that was not true for me. And at that moment, I made a decision that I was going to try to be different, and I was going to be better. And it was difficult at first, but I know that when we gossip and backbite, especially at work, it leads to lots of problems. When you think about it, why do people gossip? It's important to understand what motivates us to speak unkindly about others. Usually we don't like to think about what inspires us to gossip and speak unkindly about others, but really, when you get down to the heart of it, usually why we do that is because of some reason we don't feel good about ourselves, and we don't feel like we feel like we need to cut others down to make ourselves feel better. Especially when we're in a working environment, a professional environment, it is professional to make sure that our comments are always positive, that we build others up. Unless we are literally over someone, in charge of someone, that's the only time that we're given permission to critique. But if that's not our role, then our job is to make sure we look for the positive in others. As we strive to make sure that gossiping is not a part of who we are, it will lead to our ability to be able to work better with others, and actually helps with the entire environment at work. Nothing really tears down the atmosphere of an office like gossiping. So let's make sure that for us to be professional, that we are not guilty of that really unprofessional trait.